Welcome to today's playtest video. We're going to be using the print and play edition of Starframe, which contains the cards required to play a 3-round game. We have 3 players. We will be using the pilot, smuggler, and mechanic characters. We have a couple of little extra pieces that we've just sourced from the game. So you will want to put together basically some little cubes or something that you can use to track your stats, a couple of 6-sided dice, and the packaged damage dice that we have in the book. You just like put that around with maybe some tape around another dice, and then we just have like a little marker or whatever to act as the station as it moves down the rounds. So to begin, we are going to draw our 5-part basic ship. So Jason is drawing one of each of these parts, and then he will flip them over and reveal them, and then use the symbols that are at the top and sides of the parts to specify where he should be putting his particular stat counters. After that is done, you'll add your bonus for your hero, and the game can begin. We are playing with the skills activated, and we'll make sure to narrate what it is that we're doing as we go. So, at the beginning of the game, everybody gets 4 droid cards. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green, plus a bonus of 2, puts me at 9. So put my green marker here on 9 and my max token pointing in that direction. The full version of this game does have these cut out, but for this print and play, we wanted to just still let players actually be able to use the cards, but they don't have the slots. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, plus 3 power, so that puts me at 6. And then I have 2 armor, plus a bonus of 1 puts me at 3 for a max of 3 armor. So a quick little strategy as I'm looking at this, I am deficient or I'm pretty low in the blue stat, the armor stat. So I'm going to want to try to source parts that will get me some more armor so that I can, better be able to tackle some of these parts, especially when you look at how there's a 5 cost of armor here, a 4 cost of armor here. The other stats I'm doing okay on for red and green, but I'll want to check that out. So let's see, we're going to roll a dice to see who goes first. I got a 4, Jason, 5, and Joe, roll again. And Jason, okay. So Jason will go first and he'll narrate his turn.
All right, so first you're starting off in station, and according to the location card, it directs you exactly what you should be doing. So start phase, draw a droid, drawing a droid, and banking hypermatter only happens when I'm coming back from space, so that doesn't matter. So for the purpose of the video, Druid Droid got a warp travel. This is going to be very key at the end of the game when you're trying to make it back and forth from space to bank your points. So Druid Droid.
Just a quick thing. You mean that if you have cargo in your car, or if you have points in your cargo hold, that's when the bank hypermatter comes
Exactly. Yeah. So action phase, I get 3 actions. So I'm going to draw a part to increase my stats on my ship. And it looks like I'm going to need either a new engine or a new bridge because I don't have hard points on the side. So I'm going to go for an engine. And I didn't get anything on the side, but I have a hard point access here. So that's drawing 1 action, placing is my 2nd action. But since I'm the mechanic, I get 1 free modify action per turn. So that cancels out. So I'm still at 2 actions left.
You'll immediately move your stats up. 1 each because of the particular part that he got. He'll adjust his cubes in the max.
And I'm going to draw another part. I'm going to get a bridge. That's a good one. And for my last action, I'm going to go to space. With this in my hand still.
Okay. Joe's turn.
All right, so I'll go ahead and go next. Let me fix these cards real quick. All right, so as the smuggler, my skill is once per turn, perform one free part draw or bank hypermatter action. So I'm going to be taking advantage of that right away, but first I'm going to go ahead and draw a droid for my start phase. Got a free action. Maybe using that pretty soon, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use my skill to get a free draw. So I'm going to take an auxiliary and hope that I get some blue. And I got 2 blue, 1 red. I got a free modify droid. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. And so once I use my free part draw, my free modify, and so I still have my 3 actions. So as Dan pointed out, no hypermatter to bank, so I go in my action phase. And what I think I'm going to do is, well, first I need to adjust my stats based off that new part. 1 more for red. And let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw another part and place it. So 1 action, 2 action, line up those hard points. My 3rd action, I think I'm going to... third action, I'm going to draw 1 more. So right now I have 7 parts. So I'm going to draw an engine for my 3rd, but I'm going to do a free action to place that and then end my turn.
Okay, beginning of my turn, I draw a droid. You can see that my cards are face up. I have 2 free search part actions, so I'm going to use those to then look at the decks and choose the parts that I want. Let's see if we can get... We definitely want this right here because that gives us 3 symbols for our frame. So that spends this droid card. Then I'm going to spend this other droid card, and I think I will aim for another engine.
Now, Dan, when you play those droids, does that require an action?
It doesn't. It does not cost an action. Droid cards can be played at any time, and they just activate as cheat cards. They're free. So I get this, these 2 parts. They're sitting in my my hands. I have a free modify action that I can play at any time, so I probably want to hold on to that to be able to play one of these cards in space. So for my first action, though, I am going to actually play a modify action to insert this card, which then gives me a bump of 1 stat per. Then I'm going to use my pilot skill that once per turn I can do a free warp action. So I'm going to go to space immediately. And then I'm going to try and tackle one of these cards here or the Abyss. Now, in a slightly longer game, I would probably actually want to go after this card right here because it would give me 3 more parts that I would then not have to spend actions drawing for. But because this is a shorter game, I really just want the victory points. So I'm going to go straight for an Abyss. And if it doesn't work out for me, I'm going to use the undo or the free modify to give myself just a little bit of something extra. So we're going to go straight for an Abyss and look at that. So we need 7, 7 green, which is the boost stat, and we've got 10, so that drops down to 3, and we need 4 of the armor, and we have exactly 4 of the armor, so look at that, we got lucky. Got 6 hypermatter and an extra droid that we get immediately. And let's see, we still have our 2, or we still have 1 remaining action, right? Yeah, because we did a part draw and then we did a free warp. So the second action was the Abyss. And let's see, can we get anything over there? We need a high. Yeah, so we want to go after this. So we're going to use this free modify immediately to add this engine, which will give us 3 more of the power stat, putting us at 10. And then we have a boost stat of 3, which will let us be able to go after this planet right here for 9 and 2. And we have sufficient, so we will drop these down by their respective amounts, get another droid card immediately. That is our final action. So our turn now moves into the end phase where we recharge all of our stats up to their maximum value. And because I am the last player in the round, we then move the token counter to the second place, and it's now Jason's turn to then start a new round.
Now, before you go, Jason, Did you already? I'm trying to remember. Did you already kind of go over the differences between the print and play version and the full game, as far as like card count and whatnot?
I mean, kind of, but not really. The general gist of it is that this has enough of the cards in order for a 2 to 3 player game and 3 rounds to happen, absolutely. But there's just too many cards to actually like reasonably ask somebody to try to print out all of this. So we tried to put in about half of the game here. And we tried to put in a lot of different part variations so that you can, get some cool looking ships. But there are more parts, there are more Abyss cards, there are more Invader cards, there are more Planet cards, and the droid deck is a lot thicker. There's only 2 of each of these type of droids in this particular deck. And of course, there are 6 heroes that you can play with, and we only have 4 of them packaged in the game so that you can, try out the pirate, the pilot, the mechanic, and the smuggler. If you would like to play the full version of the game, we do have a tabletop simulator module that is on the Steam Workshop that includes the entire game, and you can play that immediately and for free, assuming you have tabletop simulator.
Awesome.
Cool. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. Thank you. That's a good call out.
And I would like to also point out one thing that on one turn of play, you could see that I'm in space after my first turn, Joe's still in his station, and Dan has already had stuff in his cargo hold ready to bank. So there's a lot of different ways that you could play this game. It's up to you on how you want to do that. So on my start phase, I'm drawing a droid immediately. Escape capsule, this is really good. Since I'm in space right now and it's my second turn, I don't want to go back home. So that's important. And action phase, you're immediately defending the station when you're in space. So I'm going to draw, or I'm going to, what is this called?
Roll the invader dice.
Roll the invader dice. 3.
And that specifies the number of invaders that you must draw and defeat. And it is an all or nothing type of scenario. So Jason must have the sufficient stats in order to beat all of those invaders. If he does, they immediately go into his cargo hold. He gets the values. And of course, he has to spend their point values. But if he doesn't, that's when he then ends up having to roll this damage dice and potentially lose a part off of his ship. Or if it's on this blue hex side, he would lose the most recent card that he gained in his cargo hold.
So according to this, I have to beat, and it's usually easier when you just read them all at once. So I have to beat 4 reds, which I could do. And your max token stays at the same spot. 4 blues, and 2 greens. So I successfully completed that, defended the station against these invaders. They go immediately into my cargo hold, and I go on to the action phase where I still have 3 actions because rolling that patrol dice doesn't require an action. So my first action, being the mechanic, I still have this leftover part from my last turn, so I'm going to go ahead and just do a free modify really quickly to make sure that I have the most effective ship. And I'm going to just turn this guy this way. You get some crazy looking ships sometimes, but they're your ships, so make them cool.
And you can rearrange your parts at any time, but I mean, you usually don't want to slow down the game, so it's usually like you'll tinker with it after, when it's not your turn. But
so I'm going to go for 2 blues and a green. So that just bumped me up 2 blues and a green. So I'm still damaged. I took damage from these invaders, so my stats aren't that great right now. So sometimes it helps to use a free action to boost up one of your stats back to max. So I'm going to boost my reds back to max because that looks like an even ship to me.
And that's using the recharge 1 stat action that's only available to you in space.
Yep. And I'm going to do similar to Dan. I'm going to go after an Abyss and gamble because it's a shorter game. So this Abyss is worth 6 hypermatter. You gather 6 hypermatter. It costs me 4 green and 7 blue, which I don't have 7 blue. So this will be interesting. Yikes, I can't beat it. So I'm going to take damage, but before I do that, I'm going to just take damage.
Okay. So to take damage, you discard the card to the bottom of the deck and you shuffle it in or whatever. Every time you draw a planet or an abyss, you replace it with another card. And then Jason will just roll this damage dice. And you see that he has the bridge symbol in orange. So he must select one of his bridges. He does get to choose. And then, it just gets discarded, so it would go back into the bridge game. Or if you want something a little more hardcore, you can choose to exile that card from the game so that no player can regain that part.
But and my turn is...
was that all your actions?
That was my first action. So
so you continue your turn then.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and not go after another abyss, because that would be a bad call. So I'm going to go after
you do want to decrease your
Based
points
off-
by the amount that you were able to do. So you were...
4. I missed 7 here. So that's at 0, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'm going to go after a... Can I get a planet? 3 greens. I cannot get any planets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roll for another invader as one of my actions. 1.
Perfect.
Oof.
Ooh! Triple 3.
And
So he fails again. He has to roll the damage dice.
Again.
Bad luck. Oh, and the other bridge. Ooh. So now you'll notice that Jason's ship might not look legal, but it is. There is no penalty for not having one of each part on the ship. You just lose the stats. So Jason would at this point in time probably just want to yield the rest of his turn. Maybe go back to station to get some points, but because it's a short game, he probably wants to just stay in space. So then he would, at the end of his turn, right, he would recharge his stats at their max, meaning that because he lost these parts, he'll have to update his max tokens. But the play can move on to Joe.
Yep.
So.
All right. So as Jason pointed out, I'm still in the station. So I'm going to go ahead and start phase, draw droid. And let's see. So it kind of puts me a little bit of a disadvantage that I'm still at the station because we're already on round 2. We only have one more round after this one. So I really need to get into space and get some points. So once again, my skill is perform 1 free part draw or bank hypermatter. I don't currently have any hypermatter. So I could either hold it for when I go in space and hopefully get some hypermatter, or I could go ahead and do a free part draw at this point. I'm still really low on blue, so I kind of think that I need to take a gamble and try to get one more part card that hopefully has some blue. Right now I have 8 parts, so I could really only put one more part on my ship. So I think what I'm going to do is go for another auxiliary using my skill. And I got one blue and 1 red. Helps me a little bit, but I got it for free with the skill, placed it. So that was my first action. So that gives me, I'm already maxed out on red, but my blue could go up 1 more. I'm going to use one of my droid cards to warp into space so I could start collecting some hypermatter. So I'm then going to use, let's see. So since I warped into space, I do not have to roll the invader dice. So I'm going to go ahead and use a look at 3 and look at 3 abyss. So,
and just for clarification, the reason why he doesn't have to defend the station now that he's moved into space is because he's already in his action phase, and you only perform each of the phases once.
now what I'm going to do is just flip the 3 that I got. You could, if you wanted, not show the other guys because it's your droid that's allowing you to see these, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and show what the 3 are. So I have 5 blue, so that rules this guy out. This guy would be really nice because he has the most hypermatter. So 8 green, I have plenty of red. So alternatively, this is 1 less hypermatter, but I'll get a free droid. So that's kind of the trade-off that I'm going to have to decide right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and go for this guy. and that will be my second action to go after this abyss. Got my droid, which is a shield. So that goes into my cargo hold, and I'll go down 7 green and 4 red. Okay. Now I have one more action. I don't have anything too helpful in my droid deck. So if I didn't use the free part draw, I could have banked this, which would have been great because it's a lot of hypermatter to have sitting out there in the cargo hold that they could go after. But I can't do that, so I could see if I could go after a planet. So 5 blue, 1 red, I could do that. If there's any high red, 4, I don't have enough green here, but that would have been nice because I could have got another free droid. See, this guy's 4, but not enough green. I think I'm gonna have to go for this guy. So that'll be my third and final action, will be to go after this planet. So those 2 will be sitting out in my cargo hold, and I will then go into my end phase, recharge my stats while Dan starts his turn.
Okay, so I start my turn in space, and I get a new droid. I then need to defend the station from the invaders, and Bomber, look at that, I rolled a 6. Definitely don't want that, so I'm going to use my undo card, which lets me re-roll any of my dice 1 time. Ooh, 5, still not great, but better than a 6. So we're now going to reveal, let's see, let's scooch these over.
It's going to be rough.
5 of these guys, and this is going to be painful. 3, 4, and 5. So we have, let's see, that is 10 green, and we have 10 green.
Wow.
We have, let's see, 5 blue. We do not have 5 blue, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red. So we do have that. But I have a flea invader droid, so I absolutely want to spend this on something that has blue so that I can actually succeed. And because I would only be shy 1 blue, I want to get rid of this guy because it's actually worth only 1 hypermatter, whereas these are worth 2. So we're gonna get rid of this guy using the flea invader droid. So we're just going to put that back on the bottom of the deck, discard this invader, and then we're gonna decrease our stats by 10 green, 4 blue, and what was that? It was 4 red. So 1, 2, 3, 4 red boost. But we just got a nice cache of hypermatter that we can use. So,
now, alternatively, he could use the hijack part and take, for example, this guy over here that has 2 blues and 1 red, added that to his ship, and then he would have been able to succeed that way as well.
absolutely. Now, I'm in an interesting position because I know that the game is getting ready to end, and I have to be able to bank all of my hypermatter in order to get it, because any hypermatter in your cargo hold at the end of the game that is unbanked, you don't get the points. And I also know that these guys can try to steal from me, so I want to try to be a little bit clever. I haven't used my skill yet either. So what we're going to do is, with the remaining 6 power that we have, I'm going to spend 3 per card that I want to try to steal, and try and actually steal from Joe, because he's actually got, Abyss and good stuff. So I'm going to spend these 6, and I'm going to try to steal against Joe. Now, if Joe wants to defend, he can play his, he can decrease his stats of the armor stat by 1 per block, because I'm trying to steal 2 cards, so he would go down by 2. But Joe has a shield in his hand. So you're going to play that shield? Or are you going to play it after the dice rolls?
I'll play after the dice rolls.
After the dice rolls. Okay. So the way that this goes is you basically just go after the cards one at a time. So I'm going to go after the highest one first, and then if I fail, I can try it again. So I'm going to go after this 6 Abyss, and it's basically just highest dice wins. Joe's going to decrease his armor by 2. Okay? Because he's defending. So I got a 6. That bodes well for me, right? And it's a 5. But Joe's just going to whip out his shield, and so it cancels the entire action. I don't even get to roll the other one. But that doesn't really work for me, right? So I'm just going to say undo. It never happened. I got my 6 stats back. And because I want to actually try and like get some points here, I'm going to use my, let's see. I'm going to use my free skill to warp back to the station. And then using my, I guess technically this would actually be my first action. I will bank this cargo hold. And then I will, I guess, forfeit my second or my third action. But for my second action, I will return back to space to start my turn and forfeit my third action. And I will return my stats up. If I had been thinking, I could have recharged one of my stats and then returned back to space and then maybe might have been able to get something a little bit extra, but didn't think that through quite fast enough. So anyway, the round is now over. We moved the station marker now 1 space closer to the black hole. This is now the final round, which means that any points in a player's cargo hold need to be banked in order to gain those points. So at some point in time, everybody either needs to use an escape capsule, which Joe's got the skill, Jason's got the card, or you have to return back to the station and use that bank hypermatter skill. So anyway, on to Jason.
So I'm going to go ahead and roll the patrol dice, or get a droid first, then roll the patrol dice. All right, well, I'm going after 5. 2, 4, 5.
Lots of blues.
Yeah, that's going to be stinker.
9 blues?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 blues.
10 blues. So I don't have 10 blues. So that's a stinker right there. So I think I just automatically fail
Good
again.
hijack.
Yeah, but I don't think it would help. It's kind of pointless.
And you should escape capsule first, so you don't have any. So you don't have anything in your cargo hold.
Hold on, you want to drop that search part. You want to get yourself a part that will help you. Then use the hijack to get you the rest of what you need. And you can also, if you keep in mind, use the. The look 3 would have helped if Jason just had a draw part action, like if he was in station, because he could look at the top cards of the decks and then pick the one he wants.
Or I'm going to search part. Spend that. Get myself some blues, which is, I probably need blues and red, it looks like. So I'm going to take this guy, which is basically what I had earlier. Mechanic gives me a free action to just place that, or a free modify to place this ship part.
And then you'll update your stats. 2 blue, 1 red.
Then I'm going to go ahead and hijack a part to get myself the necessary blue.
Joe's got the.
Yeah, let me get that guy. I'm going to hijack this guy.
Wait a second.
Oh. And
then I just screwed him over because now I don't think has enough blues,
I
right?
will not have enough to do anything, so thanks for everything, Joe.
I was rooting for you then.
Yeah, so then damage dice. Back to the damage dice for Jason.
Nothing.
Boom.
And doesn't lose anything.
But I do lose all these guys.
And you will decrease your stats by the amount that you can. So your blue will go to 0, your green will be decreased
To
by
1. There was 6. I think.
Oh wait, those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sorry, Jason.
1, but I'm gonna escape capsule these guys, so I at least have 3 hypermatter.
So you
To end
can
my
get skunked.
Well, but you still have your 3 actions remaining.
It's not even worth it.
You don't think
You can
can
reset.
I'm gonna forfeit.
Recharge.
Yeah, recharge 2 of your
Okay,
stats.
I'm gonna recharge this.
Planet,
I'm gonna just recharge this guy, so that's my first action.
and then try to
I'm gonna
steal.
steal from Joe.
Yeah.
Oh,
Since
wow.
he just came after me.
But then you want to hold on to that escape capsule though.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
want to do that after you try.
No, he
I
has
have
two.
another one.
He has two.
Oh, you have two.
Yep.
Look at
so I
that,
secured
man.
my bag, and now I'm gonna.
All right.
Get
Now
Joe
I just want to point out that I'm at 3 because I had to use 2 of them when Dan attacked, but I haven't had a turn to recharge my stats. So
So he's still weak.
Well, it only
So I'm still
recharges
weak.
at the end of your turn,
Exactly, so-
unless you spend an action.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you're coming after 1,
I'm going after 2.
2. Okay. So I have 1 blue. All right.
Ooh, okay, Jason, come on. Big money, no whammies.
6. 6s. 5 works.
And
Oh. All right. Well,
that's what
going
you
well
get.
for J-Town
That's
this
what you
time.
get.
the mechanic's turn is over.
All right. So
Joe, you're
I am now up. So I'm really low on blue, but I'm gonna go ahead and using my start phase. I get a droid, get a free action. I'm in space, so automatically I have to defend the station. So I roll the invader dice, and oh my gosh, so this is gonna be rough. I don't even
High value is good for defensing,
1,
but not for defending
2,
the attack, but not for evades.
3, 4, 5. This is gonna be rough. I have no blues. Luckily, there's only 3 blues here.
Can you eke it out?
Let's see. So let's see. There's 2, 4, 5, 7 red. Plenty of those. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 green. So I do not have enough green. Blues, I don't have enough blues. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my skill right now, so that way these aren't potentially
Lost.
to the damage die. So bank both of these.
Okay.
Those are now my points. So right now I'm sitting at 8 points. And yeah, I fail. Let's see, I have a flea invader, but let's see how many reds were there. 2, 4, 7. Oh yeah, I already did that. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. I could potentially. This one, I might have enough blue. Where was I with blue? On 1? I think I'm gonna lose regardless.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah. So I'm
Can't
gonna go
squeak
ahead.
it out.
I'm gonna go ahead and lose to these. Unfortunately, Jason's laughing in the background right now. So I'm gonna roll this guy. And look, that was smart. So now nothing happens because I have no cards in my cargo hold because I banked them using my skill. So nothing really happens to me besides I'm now very weak. So I have 3 actions left. So I'm definitely going to be recharging. And I need to do that now. So let's see if there's any high red planets. 7, don't have enough red though. Any 5 red?
This will be your best bet.
Yeah, I could get 3, but I can't place them. So
what you probably want to do is recharge your green, then go after this, and then hopefully you have something in your hand in order to get home.
I don't.
Okay.
So I actually probably can't do anything unless I get a droid. So really what I'm going to be hoping for is getting either a planet or an abyss with the free droid card that is hopefully an escape capsule or a free warp. So I still have my 3 actions.
Do you have a look 3?
I do not,
Ooh.
but I have a free action.
You have a free action, so then that would be the extra action you would need in order to get home just to get one of these.
So I think what I'm going to do is go after... I can't do this guy. I can't do this guy. I'm going to have to go after an abyss and hope there's a droid in it. So I'm going to use my...
Which stat you want to recharge first?
Oh yeah, I'm going to recharge my green because that has the most anyways. So I'm going to go up to 9. That's my first action. I'm going to use a free action to recharge my blue. Probably give me my best odds. I'm going to go after an Abyss for my second action. And there's a droid there, so that's good. But there's 6 red, 5 blue. So I have enough blue. It goes down. I do not have enough red. So I fail. So then I have to roll the damage dice. Nothing happens because it's the end of the turn. I lose a bridge.
Engine.
Oh,
This
engine.
would be the engine. Yeah.
So really doesn't matter, but I'm gonna go ahead and lose this guy. No, I'll get rid of this guy. Doesn't matter. Game's over for me. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to Dan.
Okay, so I start my turn in space, so I draw myself a new droid. I then need to defend the station. We got a 2, that's nice and low for us to really try to get some extra points out. And if you notice, right, the defending of the station can be really risky, and so you want to balance trying to, skip that by bouncing back and forth between the station and space, because it can really, really hurt your stats for you to try to be able to go after, other things. And being that this is a shorter game, our ships are not as well optimized as they normally would be in a 5-round game. So anyway, getting back to this, let's see, I forgot to update my stats. That's my bad. So anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4 red. So we bring that down to 6, and we've got 3 blue armor. So that puts us at 1, and then we have 1 green boost. So that puts us there, and we just have now 2 more points. We now start our action phase for 3, and this would have been shuffled back in, so we don't know what that is. We'll just put this here. And let's see. If there was cargo in the other guys' holds, I could actually try and steal that, even though their game is over. But there isn't any. So for my first action, I think I actually want to try and let's just 3, 4. Well, let's not be risky. We know what we've got. So let's go after let's see, this 7 and 4. But in order to do that, right, we need 1 extra red. So we're going to use this hijack part, and we're going to steal one of the other player's parts. And it looks like Joe's got the best. Now, Joe can still defend at this point, if he wanted to try and play like a shield droid to try to stop me from doing that. But
or if I had any blue left. No. This is hijack.
Yeah, just the shield. So anyway, I get 3 more. 1, 2, 3, and then these would pump up to 12 as well. Anyway, which now makes it to where I have enough to get this guy. So then I can now bring this down to 2 and down to 5. And I get myself another droid. And let's see, I have 2 more actions, but keep in mind I haven't used my skill, so I really want to just save my last action to try to use that to bank points. So, we'll just go after this for 5 and 1. And then we will use my free warp. And then for my third and final action, I will choose to perform the bank hypermatter stage, or bank hypermatter action, which will let me take all of this back home. So I had a pretty good balance of droid cards and parts, which really let me do a lot more. Jason really got messed up on the rolls for the invaders, and Joe, he just kind of got a little bit out of balance for gaining his points in his turns. But you can see that there's a lot of variation, and that there is a lot of different type of gameplay that you can have. Fortunately, the game actually played out really nicely, that you were able to see, I think, most of the mechanics. We had a steal, we had a hijack, we had a shield, we had a block, We had going after the abyss, the planets, and the invaders, high and low, and the damage dice a couple of times, as well as our skills going out. But at this point in time, all banked hypermatter, you would count up to determine how many points you have, or how many hypermatter points. Jason has 3, Joe has 8, and I have 4, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, I think that's 25 points. So I had a really good game. I smoked these guys. It's usually a lot closer than this. Anyway.
Stage fright.
Yeah, stage fright. There we go. So that would be the game. I would be the winner of Sekim's engine, and I would escape the black hole, while these guys would be left to the depths of the unknown. So anyway, we hope you enjoyed this playthrough of Starframe using the 3-round print and play edition that we have on the page. So thanks for watching.